Okay, best describes the overall structure. That's another way of saying what's the main purpose. And let's see what the function of this paragraph is. Many films from the early 1900s have been lost. These losses include several films by the first wave of black women filmmakers. We know about those lost movies only from small pieces of evidence. For example, an advertisement for Jenny Louise Toussaint's Welcome's documentary Doing Their Bit still exists. There's a reference in a magazine to her film A Woman's Error, and Maria Williams' The Flames of Wrath is mentioned in a letter and a newspaper article, and one image from the movie was discovered in the 1990s. So what's the purpose of this? To explain and give examples of the first African-American wave of filmmakers. A lot of it's been lost, but we do have pieces of evidence. So to identify a complex problem, no, there's no complex problem here. We just lost some of the films, but we do have traces of them. We know they exist. The text summarizes a debate among researchers. There's no debate here. That's wrong. That's not the right function. The text describes a general situation, then illustrates that situation with specific examples. Yes, we lost a lot of the filmmakers, and then we got these examples of the various films that we saw advertisements for, but we don't have the films from a couple different artists. This is going to be the right answer. I'll just quick review D. The text discusses several notable individuals, then explains commonly overlooked differences between those. No, it's not about comparing the individuals. That's, again, a false comparison. Overall structure or main purpose question. Let's read the paragraph. Hiroshi Senju is known worldwide for his paintings of waterfalls. These paintings are large and tend not to show the entire waterfall, so we're introducing this artist and what he does. Instead, Senju focuses on just the point where the falling water reaches the pool below, keeping the top of the waterfall out of view. Okay, so he's got a very particular style. While Senju's paintings are rooted in art movements originating in the States, the artist uses traditional Japanese techniques and materials to make his work instantly recognizable. So we're introducing the artist, what he paints, and his particular style. So it introduces an artist, okay, that's a good start, and then explains some of the common characteristics of well-known paintings by that artist. It does do that. It shows the water only at the bottom of the fall. This looks good. I'm going to check that for now, but let's check B, C, and D. It explains a specific painting technique and then provides an example of artists. No, there's only one artist here, and it's not about the technique. That's not the focus. C, it describes a famous painting. No, it's not about a famous painting either. It's about an artist. It gives an opinion on an artist. No opinion here, right? If anything, it's positive, but not really an opinion or how it's overlooked. Correct answer is A. It's introducing his work and explaining his style. Okay, we're looking at a more focused, underlined function. So let's read. In 1801, a Blackfoot chief named such and such drew a finely detailed map of the upper Missouri region. Okay. This work demonstrates a vast amount of topographic knowledge, as the map features specific names of mountains and rivers, as well as the first known stretch of the drainage network of the Missouri River. So what is this telling us? How extensive his knowledge was. He didn't necessarily have modern surveying equipment or skills, but he knew the land very well. He knew the area, and these are examples of that. The map is especially notable because such and such also included details about the numerous tribes that lived in the area. Okay, so let's see if we can answer that finds that. It emphasizes his desire to represent other tribes. No, that was just an extra fact or evidence. It explains how he developed an interest in map making. No, we don't know how he developed his interest. That's not evidenced in the text. It identifies some reasons why the map is impressive. Yeah, it definitely does that, right? He had a lot of detail. He named the tribes, particular mountains. This looks good. Let's just check D. It details how the map was used for hunting. No, we don't know how the map was used. C is the correct answer. We have a main purpose question. Let's read the text, figure out what's going on, and what the purpose of this paragraph is. In many agricultural environments, the banks of streams are kept forested to protect water quality. Okay. But it's unclear what effect these forests may have on stream biodiversity. To investigate the issue, biologist such and such studied an Indonesian oil palm plantation, comparing the species richness of forested streams with that of non-forested streams. Kiam and colleagues found that species richness was significantly higher in forested streams, a finding the researchers attribute to the role leaf litter plays in sheltering fish from predators and providing food resources. Okay, so we know it's unclear what effect forests have on the stream's biodiversity. And then we have a study and conclusion that says we have positive effects from the trees. So let's see what the answer choices show. It discusses research intended to settle a debate. No, that's not correct. It explains the differences between stream protection strategies used in palm oil plantation. No, we only looked at either forested or not forested, not different strategies. That's not right. Okay. And it was a question of biodiversity, not even stream protection. C. It describes findings that challenge a previously held view about how fish inhabit streams in agricultural environments attempted to avoid predators. Well, that's very specific. It does describe findings that challenge a previously held view. That part is correct, right? Well, is it challenging it? It was unclear and they clarified it. I'm not sure this is right. I don't think this is going to be correct. It presents a study that addresses an unresolved question. Yes, there's an unresolved question, right? Not a previously held view about the presence of forests along streams in agricultural environments. That's exactly what they studied. D is the correct answer. 20, we have function focused on the underlying sentence. What's its purpose? However, it seems to be contrasting something. So, genetic studies have led researchers to suggest that turtles are most closely related to the group that includes modern crocodiles. But studies of fossils have suggested instead that turtles are most closely related to other groups, such as the one that contains modern snakes. Or turtles fossil, are they crocodiles or are they snakes? However, many of the fossil studies have relied on incomplete data sets. So the fossil studies we're connecting them to snakes. So maybe the purpose here is maybe not snakes, right? To tell us why they're not actually snakes, but maybe crocodiles as relatives. For a 2022 investigation, colleagues examined more than 1,000 reptile fossils collected worldwide. From this large data set, they found clear agreement with the results of the genetic studies. Okay, so they're lizards. It offers an overview of the tools scientists use to examine fossils. It's not about the tools. That's not the idea. It was an assessment and explaining whether they're snakes or lizard or crocodile cousins. B. It describes a limitation of some studies. No, purpose is not about a limitation here. That's not the function of the text. It summarizes previous research on the evolution of crocodiles. That's not really even discussed at all. It criticizes a widely held belief about genetic studies of reptiles. So, no. It's not criticizing genetic studies of reptiles. They're in a clear agreement, so that's not right. So we crossed out the wrong answer here, which occasionally happens. So let's go back and take a look at these again, which seems reasonable. It summarizes previous research on the evolution. That is definitely not the purpose. Criticizes a widely held belief. That is definitely not the purpose. It has to be A or B. Let's look at these again more closely. It offers an overview of the tools. Again, that is definitely wrong. The only one that seemed plausible, even when I X'd it out, was B. It describes the limitation of some studies about the origin of turtles. Yes, the limitation of the study was the fossil studies had incomplete data. That's the underlined sentence. It should have been more obvious at the beginning that that is the right answer. B is correct.